Afternoon. I want to talk to you about something because I'm starting to absolutely recognise it fully now. Since COVID and since that first lockdown, this country has headed slowly but surely, and we are now in ultra hyper survival mode. And I'm reminded again of a friend of mine I met many years ago. And he came over here from El Salvador, when El Salvador went tits up. And he said something very, very interesting. And it was that he said society broke into two groups. So I'm talking about the people that it's affecting and stuff like that. Not the people that causing it. They split into two groups. And he said the smaller group, about 35% of that lot, we're in this together, we've got to do it, and they're united. But the rest went into hyper ultra survival mode. Fuck you, it's about me and my family. And that is what it is. That is where Britain is right now. We're in ultra hyper survival. And this isn't good. Okay, isolation is now recognised as a medical condition. It causes heart problems and all sorts of things. It's starting to be recognised. Maybe, yeah. So when lockdown happened, and I witnessed it myself. I watched a bunch of people just disappear, literally just disappeared from me, and I some of them I have not even seen since. And this is what it does. So we were all isolated. I'm sorry to tell you this, and you may not like it, and you may not agree with it or that, but it is. And I've talked to many people who've done army survival and extreme army survival. If you and me are on an island and there's no food, no water, and I'm dead, you will eat me. You will eat me and drink my blood. It's called survival. It is. We are naturally, instinctively built to be like this. But we're also built to be in groups. We're a group species. You look at, there isn't many animals and insects and birds that are isolated. You go out in the jungle, you go out in the plains of Africa, and the lions hunt in packs. And I think we've gone back to ultra survival of the fittest, and I'm starting to see it even more. I'll give you a good example of it. It brought in, I think last week or the week before, the DW cut. What actually happened? What actually happened was nothing. I think one MP in Scotland and 3 councillors resigned. That was it. All your MPs, most of your MPs in the Labour and Tory, they've all said it's really bad. Jeremy Corbyn has said it was bad. They all are talking. And that is it. As I've said before, if I'm an MP, I can go into Parliament for 10 minutes, walk back out, and I get 250 quid. When I gave up the lifestyle I lived, I didn't just give up drugs and booze and meds. I gave up a whole lifestyle. There's things I want now. I know how to get them, but it's illegal. That's still in there. I still have a survival mentality in me. Why? Why have you got one? Why are we surviving and not existing? There's a big difference. I know what it's like just to exist and not be. And that's where we are as well. We are existing. We are going from this to this to this. We're going from this bill to this bill to this mortgage payment and so on. It is an absolute fact. A happy workforce is a better workforce. So why are we being made to be sad? After the war, a guy called Edward Bernays came to the Americans with a great idea called the all-consuming society. Okay? Now, it's a two-pronged attack. Now, this is the nephew of Sigmund Freud. So you see where we're going now, can't you? It's 100% psychological bullshit. So you have prong one. You give them everything that you convince them they need. And then they won't rebel, they won't war, anything. TVs, flat screen TV, computers, all of that. Nice phones. And you keep peddling this to them. And it's called commercialisation. It's called capitalism as well. So you sedate them with it. It is. You sedate these people. It releases endorphins. You convince it, you make it fashionable and everything. The other prong is to wrap them up in so much debt they will always continuously work to pay their rents and bills and that. Okay. When you get paid, you've done all the work. You've done all the work, right? You've done all the work. You've worked the 80 hours or whatever, 40 hours a week. You've done it all. Where are you on the payment system? At the bottom. You and your family are at the bottom. First thing to come out is tax. I don't know if they're still doing national insurance. That is. Then your mortgage. Then your utility bills. Then your food. And then you. And your children. To understand and to buy it, you have to buy into this. No one's being forced, by the way. There's no one being forced. You're just given the less options. It's the two-hand thing. Here's a new phone. Isn't it nice? Let me just come around the back and nick your wallet. Yeah? They offer with one and take with the other. That's a very, very old saying and manner and way. This is where we are. So we're in prong two, we are, as a society. And we're being oppressed and controlled. What would happen if 40% of the population of Britain just went, not paying my mortgage anymore? What would happen? The banks would collapse. The country would collapse. Seriously. You could bring this government down right now without firing a bullet. You get 40% of the population to stop paying their tax. And I promise you, by the end of the week, there'll be tanks on the street. And martial law will be declared within 48 hours. So I'm telling you that now. You don't have to fire a gun. I got told today they're going to be doing something with alcohol recently about the pricing of alcohol. That ain't going to happen, mate. No, that ain't. All right. If you look at your four top drugs, joint third is fag and booze. Second is pharmaceuticals, and the top one is sugar. What are these four all got in common? They're all legal and they pay tax. How are you going to tax someone on cannabis or anything like that? You're going to declare how many plants you got? Look at what the union that deals with the DWP did. Look at what they've done. They've said nothing. Why? Because they're frightened of their jobs. If today the DWP got rid of 50,000 clients, that means at least 2,000 of them, 2,000 DWP workers will be made unemployed. Ultra survival. That's what people are doing. They're scared. I might lose my house. I might get this, blah, 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 blah. Think about it. Peace out.